Hey everyone, welcome to Meeple Bits. Thanks for joining me for this recap of the games I played over this recent holiday weekend. This is just a little just chatting section of the channel that I wanted to address and just bring to you guys what I did over that holiday weekend. In general, I will typically go and visit with some family, and we play usually a lot of board games. This year was a little bit less than normal, but no big deal. So to kick things off, we arrived and we started playing with Potion Explosion. This was the first game we got to the table. Just it was a random game selected out of a collection that was there. So Potion Explosion it was. Throughout the weekend, I think we got this one to the table two times. And both times for Potion Explosion, I got my ass handed to me. Which is strange because I've won Potion Explosion before, and I have like a north of 70% win rate when it comes to gizmos. So these types of engine builder style games are usually pretty good for me. But this weekend, Potion Explosion was not happening. I just could not string together a good set of moves and yeah, failed pretty miserably on this one. But Potion Explosion, first to the table, played it a couple of times. After that, I think we probably played a few filler games of Trio, a little game that I picked up at Gen Con this year, or Gen Con 2024. It's like a little bit of a Go Fish style game. And for the first time since I've played this game since getting it at Gen Con, and again, this is a filler game, usually takes about 10-15 minutes to play, so it's in and out very quickly. So you could either get 3-4 games in, in a brief hour, depending on, the attention span of everyone at the table. But for the first time when playing this one, a player won by collecting all three gold sevens. So it finally happened. And this one, if you guys are aware of the game, is kind of tricky to do because you're taking a card from, either the front or the back of a player's hand. And so the sevens are generally in the middle. So for a player to win with getting the set of sevens before someone else gets three sets of three, less common than you might think. So it's interesting to see. I think I probably, won some, lost some. I don't usually track filler games. So after playing a bit of filler games, I think the weekend continued. Let's see, some football, some pickleball, some other general real life activities, and then back to the table was Azul Travel Edition. I don't own Azul regular. Just I got the travel edition for a tenner again while I was at Gen Con, a game I had meant to add to my collection for a while and finally did. And this game, as you know, it's classic. It's a really fun game. This one, I think we played maybe four total. I won one of the four. Um, Real fun. And the thing that I really enjoy about the travel edition specifically is that each player board has a sort of overlay, if you will, with score trackers to easily fit the pieces on the board, so nothing's being moved around while gaming with it, which is really cool. I likely would have ended up 3D printing one of these anyway, but it was pretty cool that even for the $10, it was already included in the game. Nice little travel bag, good stuff. So after that, I think the other game that we managed to get to the table was River Valley Glassworks. This is a little similar to Azul actually, but it's a little bit easier to comprehend overall because you're doing scoring just at the end. You're not worrying about mid round scoring, and it plays very quickly. So this one we're able to get in about 30 minutes per game. I think we probably got this one to the table 3 or 4 times, of which I won. I know only one of the times that we played that one, and I think might have been actually my first win on Glassworks. But again, another Gen Con pickup by the crew, and this one again, real fun Azul style game that plays quickly, and the pieces are very easy and pleasant to the eye, so players want to be engaged with this game and it's easy for people to get into. And then lastly, I think we got to the table one game of Seven Wonders. We had a high play count, so I think it was a full seven player game on Seven Wonders. And I think only two new players this time around had not yet played Seven Wonders. And on this one, I barely lost. Yeah, this one was tricky, and it was, so I was on one end of the table, and the player that won was on the opposite end of the table for me. And so the player to my right, they had the military wonder. So I had to sort of stack some military to sort of thwart those victory points from being stacked over there. I wasn't getting good chain of things, and then a few times when I was already up in military, I the final two cards of like I think the first and second era I had to choose between 2 military cards, and it's like, "Ah, great. This is not good." Meanwhile, on the other end of the table, one player just kept getting science after science after science, and they were just free upgrade science through each era. And it's like both players on that player's left and right just were I don't know if they had no choice but to hand them science and maybe there were multiple options, but that player just stacked science into oblivion, and I think they probably scored more in science points than the last player even had in total points. To give you an idea of how science can really just snowball out of control if a player does not kind of step in and say, all right, well, this science card is not in my best interest, but for the it's going to help them too much type of thing. So, and then lastly, throughout the weekend, with my other table mates that were not with me, we were playing a digital version of Everdell, and I think the one that we had closed out for the weekend with that game was probably the closest game that we had. So I think first player got 59, and then it literally went 59, 58, 57, 56. So it was a 1 point swing between each player. And I think the game before that, it went in a top two player tie with I think 58, 58. So and then interestingly, the tiebreakers both tied on both tiebreakers, and I could not find what the third tiebreaker was because the first tiebreaker I think is those events, and the second tiebreaker is remaining resources. But there isn't a third tiebreaker that's addressed. And I searched BGG and couldn't find it. So this one, I think I just recorded as shared by both winners in that case. But that'll do it. So that was the holiday weekend. Not a whole lot of games in terms of quantity, but we did get a good number of the few games that we got to the table over the weekend. So that'll do it for this one. Let me know in the comment section below what games you guys managed to get to the table over the holiday weekend, and if yours is as exciting as ours typically is. Because for me, it's usually let's see what's on the docket: good food, good family, good fun with board games. So that'll do it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed the content, I do appreciate the support. Feel free to leave a like and subscribe. And as always, everyone, until next time, thanks so much for watching.